Imagine a life where nothing, no person, no situation, and no circumstance has the power to steal your peace of mind. What would that look like? How would you feel if you could walk through your days with an unwavering sense of calm, no matter what challenges you face? The truth is, the power to protect your inner peace lies within you. Too often, we allow the worries, opinions, and actions of others to control our emotions, shape our thoughts, and dictate our state of being. But what if I told you that you don't have to let anyone or anything disturb your sense of inner balance? We live in a world that constantly bombards us with external noise, whether it's the expectations of others, societal pressures, or personal struggles. It's easy to get caught up in these distractions, allowing them to cloud our judgment, dampen our spirit, and drain our energy. But here's the key: you have the ability to choose what you allow into your mind. Your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, these are yours to control. The power to stay centered, grounded, and unshaken, even in the face of adversity, is something you already possess. It's about learning to take back control, to refuse to let anyone or anything worry you, and to step into your own power with clarity and confidence. When you learn to protect your peace, you take the first step toward mastering your life. You realize that external circumstances don't define your reality, your response to them does. No matter what others say, no matter what challenges arise, you have the choice to rise above, to choose peace over worry, calm over chaos, and empowerment over fear. The moment you stop giving away your energy to things that don't serve you, you unlock the potential for growth, joy, and fulfillment. Let no one and nothing have the power to disturb your peace. You are the master of your mind. And when you take ownership of it, you'll find that the world around you begins to shift in remarkable ways. Owning your emotional response is one of the most powerful tools you can use to transform your life. Emotions are a natural part of being human, but they don't have to control you. The idea of owning your emotional response means taking full responsibility for how you feel in any given situation, rather than letting external circumstances or other people's actions dictate your emotional state. It's about recognizing that while you can't always control what happens to you, you'll always have control over how you respond. This shift in mindset can have a profound impact on your personal growth, relationships, and overall well-being. The first step in owning your emotional response is recognizing that emotions are not inherently good or bad. They are simply signals that reflect what's happening inside you. Emotions such as anger, fear, sadness, or joy are all valid expressions of your internal world. They offer insights into your beliefs, desires, and needs. Rather than repressing or avoiding your feelings, owning them means acknowledging them without judgment. By accepting your emotions as part of your human experience, you take away their power to overwhelm or control you. Once you've acknowledged your emotions, it's essential to take responsibility for them. This means understanding that you are the one who chooses how to respond to the circumstances you find yourself in. People may say things that upset you, situations may unfold in ways that cause stress or disappointment, but the way you choose to react is entirely in your hands. For example, if someone criticizes you, you can choose to feel defensive, angry, or hurt, or you can choose to approach the situation with understanding and self-compassion. Owning your emotional response means realizing that your emotions don't have to be a reaction to the external world, they can be a conscious decision. One of the most transformative aspects of owning your emotional response is learning how to pause before reacting. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to let emotions hijack our reactions. When we're triggered by something, we may immediately feel anger, frustration, or fear. But when you practice taking a step back, you give yourself the space to evaluate the situation more rationally. This pause allows you to separate the emotion from the action, giving you the chance to decide how you want to respond, rather than simply reacting on autopilot. In doing so, you not only gain control over your emotions, but also empower yourself to make choices that align with your values and long-term goals. Owning your emotional response also involves becoming aware of the stories you tell yourself about situations. Often our emotions are shaped by the interpretations we make about events. For example, if someone doesn't respond to your message, you might feel ignored or unimportant. But this emotional reaction may be based on an assumption or past experience rather than on the reality of the situation. By recognizing the narratives we create in our minds, we can challenge them and choose a more empowering perspective. Instead of assuming the worst, you can choose to believe that the person is busy or that there's a simple explanation for their behavior. Changing the story you tell yourself can radically change the way you feel about a situation. Another important aspect of owning your emotional response is learning how to express your emotions in a healthy and constructive way. Bottling up emotions or suppressing them can lead to resentment, stress, or emotional burnout. Conversely, reacting impulsively or aggressively can damage relationships and create unnecessary conflict. When you own your emotions, you become more attuned to how you feel and can express those emotions in a way that's honest, respectful, and productive. For instance, if you're feeling frustrated with someone, instead of snapping at them or holding the frustration in, you can calmly express how you feel and why. This approach not only helps you process your emotions, but also strengthens your communication in relationships. The practice of owning your emotional response also has a profound impact on your overall well being. When you take responsibility for your emotions, you stop giving away your power to external circumstances. No longer do you need to depend on other people's behavior or the outcome of situations to determine how you feel. Instead, you become the creator of your emotional experience. This shift in mindset leads to greater emotional stability and resilience. You are less likely to be swayed by temporary setbacks, harsh words, or difficult situations. You understand that your peace and happiness are within your control, regardless of what happens around you. Furthermore, owning your emotional response can lead to greater self awareness. When you take the time to observe your emotions without judgment, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself, your triggers, your fears, and your values. This self awareness allows you to make more conscious choices in all areas of your life, from how you interact with others to how you approach challenges. You begin to realize that your emotions are not random or uncontrollable. They are messages from your inner self that guide you toward greater authenticity and alignment with your true values. In the end, owning your emotional response is about reclaiming your power. It's about realizing that you are not a passive participant in your emotional experience, but an active creator. By taking responsibility for your feelings and choosing how you respond, you break free from the automatic reactions that often lead to stress and unhappiness. You empower yourself to navigate life with greater calm, clarity, and confidence. Owning your emotional response doesn't mean suppressing or denying your feelings, it means acknowledging them, understanding them, and using them to guide you toward a more balanced, fulfilling, and intentional life. Setting healthy boundaries is one of the most empowering actions you can take to protect your emotional, mental, and physical well being. Boundaries are essentially the limits we set with ourselves and others to define what is acceptable and what is not in our interactions, relationships, and experiences. Without boundaries, we risk losing ourselves in the demands, expectations, and behaviors of others. We may find ourselves overextended, exhausted, or feeling unappreciated because we've allowed others to encroach on our time, energy, and space. By establishing and maintaining boundaries, we create a sense of self respect and ensure that we are protecting our needs and values in all areas of life. At its core, setting healthy boundaries is an act of self love and self preservation. It involves recognizing that you deserve to be treated with respect and that your time, energy, and emotions are valuable. Healthy boundaries empower you to say no when necessary and to advocate for your own needs without guilt or fear of rejection. This is not about being selfish or disregarding others, but about maintaining balance in your life. When you set boundaries, you allow yourself the space to focus on your own well being, pursue your goals, and engage in meaningful relationships without feeling drained or overwhelmed. The first step in setting healthy boundaries is gaining clarity about your own needs, values, and limitations. In order to establish boundaries, you must first understand what is important to you and what you are willing or unwilling to tolerate. This requires self awareness, taking time to reflect on your emotional, mental, and physical states, as well as considering the dynamics in your relationships and daily life. What behaviors or actions make you feel uncomfortable, disrespected, or drained? What do you need in order to feel safe, supported, and energized? Once you have a clear understanding of your needs, you can begin to define your boundaries more effectively. Setting boundaries also involves learning how to communicate them assertively and respectfully. It's not enough to know what your boundaries are, you must also be able to express them to others in a way that is clear, direct, and non confrontational. Many people struggle with setting boundaries because they fear rejection, conflict, or appearing rude. However, effective communication is key to ensuring that your boundaries are respected. When you set a boundary, it's important to state it calmly and confidently without apologizing or over explaining. For example, if a colleague is constantly interrupting you during meetings, you can say, "I need to finish my thoughts before we move on. I would appreciate it if you could allow me to speak without interruption." By expressing your needs clearly, you help others understand what is expected and create a more respectful, collaborative environment. While it is important to set boundaries with others, it's equally important to set boundaries with yourself. Self boundaries involve creating guidelines that help you manage your time, energy, and emotions in a way that promotes personal growth and well being. For example, you might set boundaries around how much time you spend on social media, how often you engage in work outside of office hours, or how you prioritize self care. These personal boundaries help you stay focused, productive, and mentally healthy. When you create space for yourself and your needs, you cultivate a sense of balance and avoid the burnout that often comes from neglecting your own well being. One of the key challenges in setting healthy boundaries is learning how to say no without guilt. Many people struggle with this because they are afraid of disappointing others or feeling like they are being selfish. However, saying no is a necessary skill in maintaining healthy boundaries. It's important to recognize that saying no to one thing often means saying yes to something more important, whether it's your own health, your family, your goals, or your peace of mind. You don't have to apologize for taking care of yourself, and you don't have to justify your decisions to others. Setting boundaries allows you to honor your needs, and this can ultimately lead to deeper, more fulfilling relationships as it creates space for mutual respect and understanding. Another essential aspect of setting healthy boundaries is being consistent. Once you've communicated your boundaries, it's important to enforce them and stand firm in your decisions. This can be challenging, especially if you are used to being accommodating or people pleasing. However, consistency is key to ensuring that others respect your boundaries. When you reinforce your boundaries, you send a clear message that your needs matter and that you won't allow anyone to take advantage of you. It may take time for others to adjust, especially if they are accustomed to pushing past your limits. But staying consistent and firm will eventually establish the respect and space you need to thrive. Setting healthy boundaries also means understanding that they are not rigid but flexible. Life is fluid and circumstances change. As your needs evolve, so too will your boundaries. It's essential to regularly reassess your boundaries and make adjustments when necessary. For example, your work boundaries may change as your career progresses, or your personal boundaries may shift as your relationships grow. Being adaptable allows you to stay in tune with yourself and ensure that your boundaries are always in alignment with your current values and priorities. Finally, it's important to remember that setting boundaries is not about isolating yourself from others or creating walls between you and the world. Healthy boundaries are about creating balance and respect in your relationships, ensuring that you can engage with others in a way that is fulfilling and sustainable. By setting and respecting boundaries, you build stronger, more authentic connections with others as you both understand and honor each other's needs. Healthy boundaries are a way of caring for yourself and those around you, creating an environment where everyone can thrive. Focusing on what you can control is one of the most powerful strategies for leading a peaceful and fulfilling life. In a world full of uncertainties, external pressures, and unexpected changes, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or powerless. However, the key to maintaining emotional balance and achieving success lies in directing your energy toward the things you have the power to influence. When you focus on what you can control, you stop wasting time and energy on things beyond your reach and instead direct that energy toward actions, attitudes that truly matter. One of the first steps in focusing on what you can control is to accept the reality that there will always be things outside of your control. Whether it's the behavior of others, global events, or unforeseen challenges, there are countless factors that you cannot change. Trying to control these things only leads to frustration and stress. The truth is, worrying about things outside of your control is not only unproductive, but it also drains your energy and clouds your judgment. It's like trying to steer a boat while letting the waves and currents dictate its course. Instead, it's essential to embrace the fact that some things are simply beyond your influence, and by accepting this, you free yourself from the burden of constantly fighting against them. Once you recognize the limits of your control, the next step is to shift your focus to the aspects of your life that are within your power to influence. Your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and responses to situations are all areas where you have control. For instance, you may not be able to control how others behave or how circumstances unfold, but you can control how you react. When faced with challenges, you have the ability to choose your attitude, your level of engagement, and the way you approach the problem. This shift in perspective is empowering because it places you in the driver's seat of your own life, allowing you to respond to situations in ways that align with your values and goals. Focusing on what you can control also involves taking responsibility for your own actions and decisions. Often we feel like victims of our circumstances, blaming external factors or other people for our difficulties. However, when you take ownership of your actions and decisions, you reclaim your power. If something isn't working in your life, rather than looking outward and blaming others, focus on what you can do differently. This mindset not only fosters a sense of personal accountability, but also creates opportunities for growth and improvement. You may not be able to control the actions of others, but you can always control how you respond to them and how you shape your own life moving forward. In addition to your actions and responses, your mindset is another area that you have complete control over. Your thoughts shape your reality. And by choosing to focus on the positive aspects of your life, you can transform your experience. For example, instead of dwelling on the things that aren't going well, you can choose to focus on what's working, the lessons you're learning, and the progress you've made. This shift in focus not only enhances your emotional well-being, but also increases your resilience in the face of challenges. By cultivating a mindset of gratitude, optimism, and growth, you can maintain a sense of peace and confidence even when things aren't going as planned. Another crucial element of focusing on what you can control is setting goals and taking consistent action toward them. While you cannot control the outcome of every situation, you can control the effort and intention you put into your pursuits. Setting clear, actionable goals helps you direct your energy toward what truly matters. Whether it's improving your health, advancing in your career, or building meaningful relationships, focusing on what you can control empowers you to take deliberate steps toward your aspirations. It's not about achieving perfection, but about making progress and staying committed to your growth. By focusing on what you can control, you create a sense of direction and purpose in your life, regardless of external circumstances. Focusing on what you can control also involves learning how to manage your time and energy effectively. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get distracted or overwhelmed by the sheer number of tasks and responsibilities we have. However, by prioritizing your time and focusing on the most important things, you create space for what truly matters. This might mean setting boundaries, saying no to less important tasks, or carving out time for self-care. When you focus on managing your time and energy, you prevent burnout and ensure that you have the resources to focus on what you can control. A significant part of focusing on what you can control is also taking care of your physical and mental health. Your health is one of the few things that you have full control over, and by prioritizing it, you set the foundation for everything else. Whether it's eating well, exercising regularly, practicing mindfulness, or seeking support when needed, taking care of your body and mind is an investment in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. When you feel strong, clear-headed, and energized, you are better equipped to focus on what you can control and take proactive steps toward your goals. Finally, focusing on what you can control involves letting go of perfectionism and embracing progress. We often get caught up in the desire to control every detail, to make everything perfect, and to have complete certainty in every decision. However, perfectionism can paralyze us, leading to procrastination and anxiety. Instead, focusing on what you can control means accepting that life is imperfect, that setbacks are part of the journey, and that growth comes through taking action, not through waiting for ideal conditions. By letting go of the need for perfection and focusing on progress, you allow yourself the freedom to move forward with confidence and ease. Ultimately, focusing on what you can control is about reclaiming your power and choosing to direct your energy toward what truly matters. It's about shifting your mindset, taking responsibility for your actions, and letting go of the things you cannot change. When you focus on what you can control, you create a life that is more intentional, fulfilling, and aligned with your values. Choosing positivity over negativity is a deliberate and empowering decision that can profoundly impact the way you experience life. In a world filled with challenges, distractions, and often overwhelming negativity, it can be easy to succumb to feelings of frustration, fear, or despair. However, cultivating a positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring life's difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about choosing to focus on the good, finding lessons in the bad, and choosing an attitude of resilience and hope, even in the face of adversity. The power of positivity lies in your ability to shift your perspective, reframe your thoughts, and take charge of how you respond to situations. At the core of choosing positivity is the understanding that you have control over your mindset. Your thoughts are not static, they are fluid and dynamic. You can choose what you focus on and how you interpret the world around you. It's common for our minds to gravitate toward negative thoughts, worries about the future, regrets about the past, or judgments about ourselves and others. These thoughts often come automatically, but the key is recognizing that you don't have to accept them as truth. By consciously choosing to focus on positive thoughts, you can shift your emotional state and ultimately your life experience. It's about being intentional with your thinking and not allowing negativity to take root in your mind. One of the first steps in choosing positivity is becoming aware of your thoughts and recognizing when they are leaning toward negativity. Often we aren't fully conscious of how negative thought patterns can influence our mood and behavior. Negative thinking can be subtle, often appearing as self doubt, fear of failure, or focusing on what's wrong rather than what's right. Once you become aware of these patterns, you can consciously redirect your thoughts toward more positive or constructive perspectives. For example, if you find yourself thinking, this is never going to work, try replacing it with a more positive and empowering thought like, this is challenging, but I can learn from it and improve. This simple shift in thinking can drastically change how you feel and what actions you take. Choosing positivity also involves practicing gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity, as it shifts your focus from what's lacking in your life to what is abundant. When you take time each day to reflect on the things you're grateful for, whether it's your health, relationships, opportunities, or the simple joys of life, you train your brain to notice the positive aspects of your experience. This act of gratitude doesn't require everything to be perfect, it simply requires you to acknowledge what's going well and appreciate it. When you consciously make the effort to find things to be thankful for, your mindset shifts toward abundance and positivity naturally follows. Another critical aspect of choosing positivity is reframing negative situations. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and obstacles. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go according to plan. But choosing positivity means looking at difficulties as opportunities for growth. Instead of viewing a failure as a personal defeat, you can choose to see it as a valuable learning experience. Every challenge offers lessons that can make you stronger, wiser, and more capable. When you reframe your perspective on difficulties, you change how you feel about them, and you empower yourself to take constructive action rather than succumb to despair. Choosing positivity also involves surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Our environment has a significant impact on our mindset, and the people we interact with can either fuel our positivity or reinforce negativity. It's essential to surround yourself with individuals who encourage you, support your growth, and share a positive outlook on life. Positive relationships can act as a buffer against the negativity that may try to creep in from other areas of life. Similarly, distancing yourself from negative influences or toxic people can help protect your mental and emotional well-being. Positive connections provide a sense of belonging and support that can help you stay focused on the good, even during challenging times. Moreover, Choosing positivity over negativity also means taking care of your mental and physical health. A healthy body and mind are essential for maintaining a positive outlook on life. Regular exercise, healthy eating, mindfulness practices, and enough rest can all contribute to a sense of well being and a more positive perspective. When you feel good physically, it's easier to maintain a positive attitude and have the energy to tackle life's challenges. Taking care of yourself is not just about looking after your body, but also about nurturing your mind with positive influences, uplifting media, and self compassion. It's important to note that choosing positivity doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring negative emotions. There will always be times when you feel sad, angry, or frustrated, and those emotions are completely valid. Choosing positivity means allowing yourself to feel those emotions without letting them control you. It's about acknowledging negativity without dwelling on it. When you experience negative emotions, you can give yourself permission to feel them, process them, and then release them, knowing that they don't have to define you. By accepting your emotions and moving through them with awareness, you create space for more positive feelings to emerge naturally.